Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie, and thanks for being here all these years of snowboard gear reviews. I'm redoing the Burton Deep Thinker review because the demo model I got was massively soft in comparison to the production, so I thought I'd update it with a flex that's much more like what you'll see. I rode it in some pretty hard snow with a little dusting on top, and then got it in a little bit of powder, 3 to 5 inches in some places, a lot less in others. But I've tested this board over the years extensively in a wide variety of conditions, so I know what this board's all about. Just wanted to talk about it with the stiffer flex. As far as sizing goes, this 57 fits me really well. I didn't feel too heavy for it, and it matched up really well with my size 9 boots. The 160 is spec'd for a much heavier rider than myself. I'd be at the lower end of the recommended weight range, where at this I'm at the higher end, and that's what I feel comfortable more with, so I'd go 157. But if you like to bomb, carve super hard, and want a stiffer flex than what I describe here, and you're my specs, then you could go 160. Now, if you're on a snowboard dating app, some things that'll make you want to swipe right, this pops incredibly well. I really enjoy its turning experience. It's got pretty good float in powder, definitely good appeal to big mountain, steep terrain riding people. It's pretty competent switch for such a tapered directional board. It's a pretty good one board quiver, free ride kind of ride. Some things that'll make you want to swipe left. The grip isn't the best in comparison to a lot of its peers, but it doesn't grab in soft snow. The base isn't the best for this price point, but it's gotten better. When it comes to shape, this is tapered and directional. You can see it has a very directional shape. The nose and tail are very different. There's not a ton of setback on board versus side cut, and this ride's a lot more centered than it looks, and it only has about 7 millimeters of taper. When it comes to camber, this is Burton's directional camber. There's a lot of it between the feet. This is camber rich, this is directional camber, but it's also mostly camber. It's more for advanced to expert riders. And like I always say with directional camber, if you're a strong intermediate and you're willing to catch an edge, take some lumps, accumulate a few hospital bills, maybe you could give it a go. There's a little bit of early rise before the nose and maybe a touch before the tail, but there's a lot more camber in the tail than there is the nose. So not the easiest for skidding a turn, but better than full camber. It tracks really well, one footing off the chair, skating around, going down a long flat cat track. This has that old school camber stability that I think a lot will appreciate, including myself. When it comes to edge hold, there seems to be maybe a slight disruption over each insert. Some modern version of their pressure distribution edges from years ago, it was a 0.5 millimeter by 0.5 millimeter bump. Then they called it frostbite, but it didn't do that much. This seems to be a little more exaggerated than that. I found that it gripped well in the hard snow day I had, but when I got off this and got on the Yes All Out, which has a very disrupted side cut right at the insert, that gripped a lot better, but still this isn't bad. It's just not like a full-on hard snow specialist. But I did like that it didn't let go as easy as some Burton boards do. Let's talk Deep Thinker Flex because this is why I redid the review. You can see it's much stiffer than the demo model I got a few years ago. There's great pop. It's got a really dynamic flex, like all Burton boards do. You can see down by the tail, pretty stiff between the feet, and the nose is a little softer. I could butter this well off the tail, but not amazing. The nose was easier to butter, as you could see, and this pop, it was so easy for me to be able to ollie this. I would say when you get one of these right out of the wrapper, it's gonna be even a little bit more stiff than this one. This was a demo and it's been used a good bit. When it comes to uneven snow, this stiffer flex did a very good job in soft, bumpy snow. In hard, bumpy snow, did pretty good too. Burton did a very good job with the Deep Thinker for all conditions riding. When it comes to speed, this can point it straight lines pretty well. It's got a balanced side cut radius, and you would think it would be more turny than it is. And it can turn quickly in tight spots, but it can also go straight and hold it well. It's not a full-on bomber. There are better boards if you live to straight line, but if you want a nice balance between being able to straight line and having a fun turny board, this could be a good solution. The base glide seems better than the last Deep Thinker I tried. That felt a little chalky, needed a little waxing. This one feels like it's much better, but still not like up there at the best of the best. But if you keep up on your waxing, this should have pretty good glide. When it comes to turning, this 157 Deep Thinker with my size 9 boots has turned pretty fast. I really liked how it could roll quickly edge to edge. If I saw a lot of tight spots or I liked riding through tight tree lines, this will be pretty good for that. Once you get it on edge, it slows down a little bit though and doesn't accelerate through the turn as fast as it initiates the turn. It seems to favor a more medium radius turn as opposed to an across the groomer carve or a circle carve. But if you like getting more on the straight line side of balanced and making more longer drawn out S turns, this will do a great job. The spring out of the turn is phenomenal. I like this stiffer flexing board for carving. It really drove out of a turn better than the previous model I tried, and it reminded me of the older models I tried before that. When it comes to powder, I've gotten this in all kinds of powder, riding on reference stance and riding set all the way back. I definitely prefer this set all the way back, and I still felt like I had a lot of landing gear in the tail. So even if you're a big mountain rider and you want to set this back on board more, you can still get air and pull it off. But if you're really going big, yeah, maybe ride more reference. And if you set this all the way back on board on the markers here on the channel, you can get 3.625 inches back from center of board at a 23-inch stance width. That's pretty free the taint wide, so most won't get 3.625. They'll probably be more at a 21 to 22 inch stance width, so it's going to be considerably less. But if you don't get EST bindings, you will be able to slide it back a little further on the front foot and then get more directional float. For me, I found this board good, but not amazing for a free ride board, especially in low angle powder. But if you see more steep and deep, this is going to be great. This little tail sinks pretty well too. I liked riding this switch. This can launch off big kickers, and I've seen some people ride this in pipe pretty well. I didn't ride it super well in pipe, but it didn't bother me either. And overall, I think the Deep Thinker is a pretty fun big mountain ride. There you have it.